Okay, are y'all ready for this? This is grade 7th mathematics for the STAAR test released in May 2021. And in this video, we're doing part 3 of a series, which would be the last problems 28 through 28 through 40. Now, if you missed part 1 or part 2, we'll attach links to those in the description. So in this video, I'm only going to go over step by step 28 through 40. There are 40 problems in the STAAR test for grade 7. Now remember, in grade 7, that is the last year they're not allowed calculators. So the problems have to be done in paper and pencil, and we'll go through the steps on those. Starting in grade 8, they can use a calculator for those. And of course, grade 9 algebra, they can use a calculator for algebra 1 also. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the first problem. Would be number 28. So number 28, it says which equation is true when c equals 3? So we have to evaluate these and using 3 for c in each one. So in the first answer, we're going to take 2 times the value of c, which is 3, plus 8, and see if that gives you 31. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 8 is 14, so that is not true. That is actually false. So we're going to rule out that one. For answer G, we're going to do 5 times the value of 7 minus c, and we said c is going to be a 3, and that has to equal to 32. Is that true? 7 minus 3 is 4, and 4 times 5 is 20, and 20 is not equal to 32. So that one is out. That's a false statement. We're looking for the one that's true. So that means that one is true, 3 of them will be false. Let's take a look at H. 9 minus 6 times the value of C, which is 3. And so that has to equal to 0. Well, 6 times 3 is 18. 9 minus 18 is not 0. 9 minus 18 is a negative 9. Another false statement. So at this point, you're thinking, the answer has to be J, right? Well, let's check. 4 times C, which is 3. 3 plus 2. See if that equals to 20. And 3 plus 2 is 5. And 5 times the 4 is 20. That's a true statement, and that makes the answer correct. So the answer here was J. So in this problem, you have to go through each one of the answers and evaluate using C, replace C with the 3 in each equation. For number 29, during 1 month, Andre used 785 gallons of water at his home. There are approximately 3.8 liters in 1 gallon. And so which measurement is closest to the number of liters that Andre used during this month? So they're telling us that 3.8 liters is the same as 1 gallon. So 3.8 liters is to 1 gallon. And we're looking for how many liters, closest number of liters. We're looking for the number of liters. So we're going to put liters on top, X liters. And that corresponds to 785 gallons. So what we're saying here is 3.8 liters gives us 1 gallon. X liters will give us 785 gallons, which is what he used in 1 month. So if you do a cross product, 1 times X is X, and X is going to be 3.8 times 785. And so if this was 4 times 800, it'd be 3,000 something. So there's a couple of answers here that are close to 3,000, and that would rule out answer D and answer A. So what we need to do is multiply 785, and so maybe I'm going to write it over here on the right margin. I'm going to multiply 785 times 3.8. And so we're going to multiply 8 times 5 is 40, carry a 4. 8 times 8 is 64, plus the 4 that we carried, that's 68, carry a 6. 8 times 7 is 56, plus the 6, that would be 62. So 785 times 8 is 6,280. And then we have to write a 0 here. 3 times 5 is 15, so write a 5 here. Carry a 1. 3 times 8 is 24, plus the 1 would be 25. Write a 5 and carry a 2. 3 times 7 is 21, plus the 2 is 23. So then we add those, and we have a decimal there, so that's going to be 0.0. 8 plus 5 is 13, carry a 1. 2 and 5 is 7, plus the 1, that's 8. 6 plus 3 is 9, and then bring down the 2. So 2,983. Is there an answer that looks like that? Yes, the answer was C, 2,983. Okay, the next problem is number 30. A bag contains flavored lollipops. A lollipop will be randomly selected from the bag. 17 are grape, 8 are cherry flavored, 14 are watermelon, and 16 are strawberry flavored. What is the probability? So what is the probability in decimal form of the selected lollipop will either be cherry flavored or watermelon flavored? Record your answer. Okay, so the probability would be the desired number on top, divided by the total. That's going to give us the probability. So we have to find the total here. So 17 plus 8, that's 25. And 14 plus 16, that's 30. And if we add those two together, we have 55. So the total is 55, okay? But what are we looking for? We're looking for the cherry flavored, which is 8, or watermelon flavor, which is 14. So 8 for the cherry and 14 for the watermelon flavor. That's going to give you a total of 22. This is a desired number, so we want either to pick a cherry or watermelon. So that's going to be on top. That's going to be the numerator, number on top. And the denominator is a large number. The total amount is 55. So the probability of this happening, you have 22 chances of getting either cherry or watermelon out of the total 55. That is the probability there. Now, can we reduce this to simplify? We can reduce by 11. 11 goes into 22 2 times. 11 goes into 55. So 22 over 55 is the same thing as 2/5. And 2/5 is what as a decimal? That's 0.4. And if you forgot what 2/5 is, you can take 2.0 and divide it by 5, and you get 0.4. So 0.4 is the answer for this. And 0.4, if you remember your percents, 0.4 is equivalent to 40%. Okay? So there's a 40% chance of getting the desired flavors, cherry or watermelon, for this problem. Almost half, but 40% is pretty good. Number 31. The table shows Avery's net worth statement. And his net worth statement says his bank account, he has $3,900. The car current value is a question mark. Credit card debt is a negative $2,950. That means he owes $2,950 to credit cards. Real estate is worth $37,425. Student loans, he owes $1,700. That's negative $1,700. And he has investments worth $4,600. So the net worth is $53,755. So based on this information, what is the current value of his car? So this is going to be what we're looking for. We're going to call this X. So when you add up all of these numbers together, all of these have to add up to the total net worth, which is $53,755. Okay. So what we can do here is we could add his debt, which is a negative 2950 and a negative 1700. And so we can find out how much he owes. So that's 50. 9 plus 7 is 16. Carry a 1. 3 and 1 is 4. So the debt is negative 4650. That's how much he owes. And so then the bank accounts, he's got 3,900. And then the real estate, he's got 37,000. Make sure that we line the thousands up correctly. And investments is 4,600. And so just to make sure that you line these up correctly, I'm going to draw a line here. That's for your thousands. And then you have this line right there. So make sure that we line these up correctly. And so what do we have when we add these? We're going to have a 5 here and a 2 there. And then you add your 100, 600, 400, that's 10, and 9, that's 9. That's 19. So then we carry a 1. 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 plus 3 is 14. Plus the 1, don't forget the 1, that's 15. And then carry a 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. So 45,925 is what he has in investments and real estate and bank account. So this is a positive amount. And so when we combine these two, this is how much he has in investments and in his bank, and this is how much he owes. So when we add these two, you have to subtract the 4,650 from that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have 4,509.25 minus the 4,650. So you're going to have 5 here, and then you're going to borrow 12 minus 5 is going to be 7. The 9 becomes an 8. 8 minus 6 is 2. So that's 275, and then 45 minus 4. So there's 41,275 plus the car value is equal to the 53. So I have 41,275. That's taken into account the amount in the bank, all his assets minus his debts is 41,275 plus the car value, the current value of the car, which we do not know, and that is equal to the grand total of 53,755. So what we have to do is we have to subtract the 41,275 from the total, and if we do that, that's going to give us the value of the car. Okay, so up here I have the 53,000, so I can subtract here 41,275. So this would be 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. 15 minus 7, that's 8. And 6 minus 2, since we borrowed, that becomes a 4. And 3 minus 1 is a 2. And then 5 minus 4 is 1. So the car value should be 12,480. Is there an answer like that? Look at that. Answer D is exactly 12,480. So just to review this problem, it's kind of a long problem, but what you have to do is add up all the positive numbers and then add up the negative numbers, how much is debt. So what he's worth minus what he owes, and that's what we did here, 45,925 minus the 4650. That gave us the 41,275, and then we subtract this amount from the total, 53,000, and that gives you the value of the car. That was for number 31. Number 32, a rectangle, a triangle, and two congruent semicircles were used to form the figure shown. So your rectangle is 6 by 8. So we want to know the closest to the area of the figure in square centimeters. So the area of the rectangle is 6 times 8. So that's going to be 48 square centimeters. The area of the triangle is 1/2 base times height. This base here is 6 because this is 6. So we're going to do 1/2 the base, 6, times the height. This would be the height here. So this is 6 and this is 4. So 1/2 of 6 is 3, and 3 times 4 is 12. So 12 square centimeters for the triangle. So we have 48 for the rectangle, and we have 12 for the triangle. That's 60 so far. So the answer is be more than 60 because we have to add 2 semicircles. So when you add 2 semicircles, you're going to have 1 complete circle. And it looks to me like the diameter is 3. If the diameter is 3, remember the area of a circle is pi r squared. So we need to find the radius. The radius would be half of 3, or 1.5. So the area of the 2 semicircles, which is 1 full circle, is going to be pi, which is 3.14, times 1.5 squared, which is 1.5 times 1.5. So if we did 1.5 times 1.5, 5 times 5 is 25, carry a 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. And then 1 times 5, put a 0 there. 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 1 is 1. And when we do this, we're going to have 1 decimal there, 1 there, so we're going to have 2. So 2.25. So now the area becomes pi, 3.14 times 2.25. And so notice that it says here that we want the closest to the area, so we could round off a little bit. What if I use a 3 for pi? And if I subtract a little bit on this one, I have to add a little bit here. What if I make this 2.5 as an approximation? 3 times 2.5, that would be, well, what if I use 2.3? That's better. 3 times 2.3 would come out to about 6.9, which is pretty close to 7. So we're going to say this is approximately 7. So 60 plus 7. Is there an answer close to 67? 68, 69, something like that. 67 is the correct answer because that is the closest to the area. The next closest number would be 74, and there's no way that's going to be 74. So that's a geometry problem where you have a rectangle, a triangle, and a complete circle when you add 2 semicircles. Okay, number 33, Ms. Gonzalez gathered data on the number of vowels in the first and last names of each of her students. The data are shown in the dot plot. So this is the vowels in the student names. So the question is, what percentage of the students have 5 or more vowels? Well, 5 or more, so we need to count 5 or more. Could be 6, could be 7, could be 8, could be 9. There's 1 here, there's 1 here, there's 2 here. And then for 6, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 here. And for 5, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 here. And so if you count those, 10 plus 7, 17, 19, 20, 21. So there's 21 that have 5 or more. 21. And so the percentage would be 21 out of the total. Well, what's the total? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 here, 3 here, and 1 here. So that this is 9. 5 plus 3 plus 1, this is 9. So we have 9 with 4 or less, and we have 21. So if you add 9 plus the 21 that we had, that's 30 total. So the total is 30. So what percentage then is 21 out of 30? And we can reduce 21 over 30, reduced by 3. That would be the same as 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 is 70%. 1/10 is 1%. 3 out of 10 is 30%. 5 out of 10 is 50%. 7 out of 10 is 70%. So what you're really doing is 7 is to 10 as what percent is to out of 100. And so if you multiply this by 10, then you better multiply this by 10 also. 7 times 10 is 70. 70% is the answer for number 33. Number 34. Which situation can be represented by this equation? 250 plus 65 times x equals 575. Jeremy is traveling to a location that is 575 miles. He has already traveled 250, so he's already got 250 done. And what is x, the number of hours that he will need to travel at a speed of 65 miles per hour? 65 miles per hour, that's 65x, and x is the number of hours. So it looks to me like that is the correct answer. The answer for 34 was F. Number 35. The angle measures of a triangle are shown in the diagram. So one angle here is 30, one is 50. 30 plus 50 is 80. And remember that the sum of the three angles in a triangle add up to what? They add up to 180. So 180 minus 80, that means that the missing triangle, the unknown, this angle right here, is 100 degrees. Because 100 plus this one here, 50, plus this one here, 30, that gives you 180. So 2x plus 10 is equal to 100. What is the value of x? So we're going to write 2 times the number x plus 10, some number, 10 equals 100. So if we were to take off 10 on each side of the equation, whatever you do on the left, you got to do on the right, that will leave you that 2 times some number x is 90. And if you divide by 2, what do you get? What's 90 divided by 2? The value of x equals to 45. And that was the answer. So for number 35, the answer was 45. Now, is there a way you can check? Sure. 2 times 45 here is, plug it back in here. 2 times 45 is 90, and 90 plus 10 is 100. And 100 plus 50 is 150, plus 30 is 180. It adds up to 180. It is correct. Let's move on to number 36. Number 36 is an inequality, and it says, what is the solution set for the inequality 4 minus 5g greater than 39? Okay, so if you have 4 minus 5g greater than 39, we can subtract 4 on both sides, just like an equation. Inequalities are very similar. So now you have a negative 5g, or minus 5g, is greater than 39 minus 4, which is 35. So then what do? We have to divide by negative 5 on both sides. What happens when you divide by a negative number for an inequality? There's a rule here that is very important. What is that rule? Whenever you divide by a negative number, multiply or divide by a negative number, the rule says that the inequality reverses, so greater than becomes less than. So now you're going to have g is now less than 35 divided by negative 5, which is a negative 7. Now if you had g is greater than, this would be incorrect. And is that tricky? And I always heard students say, sir, that was kind of tricky. Yeah, we got tricked on that one. And it's not tricky if you know the rules. The rule is that when you divide or multiply by a negative number for inequality, it reverses the inequality. Remember that. Greater than became less than. So the correct answer has to be G. And that was the answer for number 36. Number 37, the diameter of circle X is 15 centimeters. and the diameter for circle Y is 20 centimeters. Which measurement is closest to the difference between the circumference of X and the circumference of Y? So if we want to find the difference, we have to subtract. So remember that circumference is equal to pi times the diameter. And since the diameters are given, we can multiply pi times the diameter for each one. So for the Y, we have 20 is the diameter times pi. And for X, circle X, we have 15 times pi. We want the difference between the two. That's going to be 5 pi. So we're going to multiply 5 times 3.14. 5 times 3 is 15. So the answer should be a little more than 15. Actually, this comes out to 15.7 approximately. And there's only one answer close to 15. That's answer A. So there's nothing else close to that. It can't be 7.85. It can't be 137 or 31.4. The answer was 15.7. So all I did was subtract the two circumferences. 20 pi minus 15 pi is 5 pi. And then 5 times 3 is 15. And 5 times 14 is 70. So that's 15.70. That's pretty close to exact. And 15.7 is the only answer that makes sense here. Number 38. A recipe for fruit salad includes 1/3 cup of grapes for 4 servings. So I'm going to write 1/3 cup. 1/3 cup produces 4 servings. And then, so how many cups will be needed for 30 servings? So this is a ratio and proportion problem. How many cups? So we're going to say X cups. I'll just use C for cups. And for 30 servings. So we have 1/3 is to 4, SX is to 30, and we can do a what? A cross product here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross multiply 4 times X, and that would equal to 1/3 times 30. So when we do the cross product, we're going to get 4 times X, that's 4X, and that's equal to 1/3 times 30. So this is 30 over 1. 3 goes into 30 10 times. So 4X equals 10. So then what? Divide by 4. So X is going to be 10 over 4, which reduces to 5 over 2, which is 2.5 or 2.5. 5/2 is 2.5 or 2.5. So there's an answer here that says for 38, the answer is H, 2.5. 2.5 cups is what you need. Okay. Number 39. The box plots show the numbers of lessons completed by individual students enrolled in an online program at 2 different schools. So school 1 is the first one, and then school 2. And which statement is best supported by the data in the box plots? For answer A, the range of data 1 is greater than the data for school 2. Well, from here, which is 2, up to here, is not greater than from 1 to 13. So that is a false statement. Answer B says that the median of school 2 is greater than the median for school 1. Where is the median? Right here, the median for school 2 is 7. So I'm going to write a 7 for this median. And where's the median for school 1? Right here. And the median for that one is 5. So they're saying the median of school 2 is greater than the median for school 1. Is 7 greater than 5? Yes, that is true. So that's a true statement, and that is the correct answer. We've reached the last problem, number 40 on this test. And so this is the third part in the 3-part series. So part 3, number 40, that means there's 40 problems on the 7th grade test. And so it says Natasha has a job putting letters in envelopes to be mailed. In 1 hour, she put 42 letters in envelopes. So 42 letters per 1 hour. So that's her rate. And her rate is 42 per hour. Okay. Which equation best represents why the total number of letters Natasha puts in envelopes in X hours if she continues at this rate? So in 1 hour, so let's say if this is X and this is Y, so X is the hour. So in 1 hour, she has 42. In 2 hours, she would have 84. And in 3 hours, you would add those. You would have 6, 126, and so on. So it's 42 every hour. And so this is proportional. So this is the slope right here, 42. So y equals 42x. So when x is 1, you would get 42. When x is 2, 42 times 2, you would get 84. And when x is 3, you would get 126. So it matches with this table that I made here, and that's a good way to check. Y equals 42x is the correct answer. And that was it for number 40. Now, if you like this video, remember to hit the like button and subscribe to see future videos for STAAR problems that I'm working on. And are you getting notifications? If you're not, you need to hit the notification bell next to the subscription symbol. If you've gone this far through the whole test, you will do very well on the STAAR test. Remember that you can always go back and review these problems, go back and watch the videos again and again. And I have had several viewers have told me on the comments, and it just made my day when I see a comment like, this has helped me so much that I'm sure I'm going to get a 90 and I no longer have to do benchmarks with my classmates. So it is really good news. That made my day when I see students like that say positive things, that this is working for them. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.